Ordinary world Willowbrook, a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and dense woods, thrived on routines. The townsfolk took comfort in the familiar creaks of their wooden homes, the distant hum of the river, and the evening chime of the town's solitary clock tower. But recently, something strange had unsettled the town's rhythm. At dusk, a whisper drifted from the nearby hollow, a voice familiar to each listener. It called softly, urgently, beckoning them closer. Most ignored it, but a few had wandered into the dark woods and never returned. Rumors spread quickly, fear creeping into the hearts of the villagers. Called to adventure, Eleanor Marsh, the village librarian and an amateur historian, first heard the voice while locking up one evening. It was unmistakably her late mother's voice calling from the hollow. She shook it off as fatigue, but the voice persisted night after night, weaving doubt into her heart. When her closest friend, Sam Whitaker, confessed to hearing his father's voice urging him into the woods, Eleanor realized it wasn't her imagination. Determined to uncover the truth, she began researching the hollow's history, diving into old records and forgotten tales passed down through generations. Refusal of the call, Eleanor tried to convince herself it was nothing more than wind and weary minds. The town had always whispered about the hollow, spinning stories of spirits and curses, but she had never believed them. Still, her rational mind warred with the eerie familiarity of the voices. When Sam mentioned seeing a shadow moving among the trees, Eleanor hesitated. She wasn't ready to face whatever lay within the darkness, clinging to the safety of her library and its reassuring order. Meeting the mentor. Desperate for answers, Eleanor visited old Maeve, the village recluse known for her knowledge of local legends. Maeve, frail but sharp-eyed, warned her to stay away. "The hollow remembers," she whispered. "It calls with the voices of those we miss most. But it takes more than it gives." She pressed an old map into Eleanor's hands, marked with strange symbols and notes of disappearances dating back centuries. Maeve's eyes gleamed with a mix of fear and wisdom as she cautioned Eleanor to tread carefully, crossing the threshold. Despite Maeve's warning, Eleanor and Sam ventured into the hollow at dawn. The forest was unnervingly quiet, thick with an unnatural mist. As they ventured deeper, the whispers surrounded them, taking on a haunting chorus of familiar voices. Eleanor heard her mother singing an old lullaby, drawing them further in despite her mounting fear. Twisted roots jutted from the earth like skeletal fingers, and the air grew colder with every step. Tests, allies, and enemies. Within the hollow, they discovered remnants of those who had vanished, abandoned shoes, torn scarves, and weathered journals. They encountered Jonah, a disheveled man who claimed to have escaped the hollow years ago. He warned of the echo, a malevolent force that mimicked loved ones to lure people deeper. Skeptical but wary, Eleanor pressed on, determined to solve the mystery. Shadows shifted around them, and an unnatural stillness pressed against their ears. Approach to the inmost cave. Eleanor and Sam reached the heart of the hollow, where an ancient stone altar stood, etched with forgotten runes. The air pulsed with whispers, urging them forward. As Eleanor examined the altar, Sam fell under the echo's spell, stumbling toward the darkness. Eleanor barely managed to pull him back, but the echo's grip tightened, twisting his thoughts with visions of his father. The ordeal. Trapped in a maze of shifting trees and echoing voices, Eleanor confronted her deepest fear, the possibility that her mother's voice was truly real, that she could bring her back. But the echo preyed on her longing, distorting the lullaby into a chilling dirge. She fought against the illusion, using Maeve's map to find an exit. Every step was a battle against the seductive pull of nostalgia and grief. Reward, seizing the sword. Eleanor discovered an inscription on the altar, hinting at how to silence the echo. Speak the truth to shatter the lie. She realized the echo fed on unresolved grief and regret, thriving on what people wished they could hear. With newfound resolve, she turned to face the darkness. She whispered words of acceptance, grounding herself in the present. The road back, Eleanor and Sam made their way out, their voices growing hoarse as they resisted the echo's temptations. They recited memories grounded in reality, denying the falsehoods whispered in their ears. The hollow thrashed around them, but their resolve held firm. Jonah's last words echoed in Eleanor's mind. Don't look back. Resurrection. Breaking free from the hollow, Eleanor returned to the village with the truth. She gathered the townsfolk and shared the echo's nature, urging them to hold on to what was real. The voices grew fainter, their power weakening, as the town embraced the truth over longing. Old Maeve watched from the edge of the square, nodding in quiet approval. Return with the elixir, Willowbrook slowly healed. The hollow remained, but its whispers lost their grip on the villagers. Eleanor became the keeper of their stories, ensuring they remembered their past without being consumed by it. And though the echo still lurked, it no longer held dominion over their hearts. The gathering storm. Just as the village began to regain its peace, the whispers returned, stronger than before. This time, they didn't just lure people into the woods. They seeped into homes, echoing from within walls and mirrors. Eleanor realized the echo was fighting back, refusing to be forgotten. The ultimate test. Eleanor gathered the villagers and led them to the hollow once more, facing their fears together. She urged them to speak their truths aloud, to reject the illusions that haunted them. One by one, the voices faltered, until only a single whisper remained, Eleanor's mother's voice, pleading for her to stay. Resolution and closure. Eleanor took a deep breath and whispered, "You are not real." The echo let out a final, shuddering wail before fading into silence. The hollow grew still, and a newfound peace settled over Willowbrook. Eleanor, though forever changed, knew that the village and she were finally free. As the seasons passed, The hollow remained quiet, and Willowbrook embraced its future with cautious hope. Eleanor continued her work at the library, ensuring that no one forgot the lessons they had learned, preserving the village's past without letting it define them.